Welcome back and thank you for listening to the Abu Dhabi Transparency House. We are here during the entire Sustainability Week of Abu Dhabi, and I'm here talking to the company PRIVA with representation in the form of Don. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Yes,
Glad to be here.
Let's kick off with telling me what your company actually does.
Oh, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question. First of all, I would like to invite or to thank the embassy, the Transparency House, of giving me this stage. Thank you very much for that. It's a big honor. It's my first time to be here, so for me it's also a little bit of a nice journey to see what all is happening here. About myself, my name is Kester. I've been working for PRIVA, and our company is a software and hardware developer for the building industry, building automation, climate controls, but also for the indoor facilities. And with indoor facilities, I mean greenhouses, vertical farms. What I always try to explain to our customers, that we are a company that trying to make the environment that we are living in, if it's human, plants, to make as comfortable as possible and as sustainable as possible.
And when you say humans, I understand you're mainly in greenhouses, right? You're not doing office spaces yet.
No, we do.
You're
the biggest supplier and biggest in the Netherlands of buildings, like the Rijksmuseum. Is one of our buildings that we provide with the right climates. Now we're also doing building automation.
But so I guess that plants and humans have a different way of different requirements, right?
That's funny that you say that, because at some points I think even in our own company people think that. I don't see it that way. What I do see is a living being, and when it's a plant, an animal or a human being, it has to be in the right environment.
Yes.
And we all need the right climate around us to feel comfortable and do our job, or as a plant to bring the right production. And that's what we do.
Yeah, but you stop growing somewhere around the age of 18, so...
We never stop growing, eh?
Yeah.
We never always in the mind, and that's something that also has to be... With the wrong climate, this stops, that's true.
But let's educate listeners then. I guess that there's a more specific thing, right? It's not you're not just supplying air conditioning systems. It's a little bit more broad than that.
It's typical to the software that we're doing, especially for the building industry. It's a software that controls. But the main focus, and that's something I really want to express here today, because I'm now here at this stage, is that for PRIVA the number one goal is to get people to realize that we have to change something. And PRIVA is a family-owned company run by Miney Prince, our CEO, and that's trying to explain the population into the world that we are moving more and more to cities, and we have to supply them with food and also the building itself, but we have to do that with less energy. We cannot use all the fossil fuels that we're doing today for the next generations. And that's where our focus starts.
How do you do that?
How do we do that? We are trying to develop programs, we are trying to develop materials like water units to reduce that all. So with a lot of, with a big team of engineering people from all kinds of industries, startups, we're trying to get them all involved within PRIVA to see what is happening in those greenhouses. What does that plant really need? And what does the human really need? And how are we going to do that with our software to bring the right climate with the less water usage and with the less amount of fossil fuels? And that's where our focus starts. That's where it actually has to begin for us.
So do you have an ambition of power saving within the food production systems?
Oh yeah, that's our main goal.
And
water and power.
Let's say 50%?
Oh, it's even more. For example, what we do see more and more, if you growing, let's give a simple example. You grow tomatoes outside in the open field, and a vine of tomatoes will use 60 liters of water to become the complete vine.
One tomato or one plant?
No, one vine of, just like say 5 tomatoes. One vine of tomatoes, we call that.
Yeah.
If you look at the greenhouses, it's only 4. Can you imagine the big difference that has? And even so, all the water that we bring into these indoor facilities, it can be indoor in these kinds of buildings, or many ways to grow vegetables on this, in these kinds of environments, indoor facilities. But imagine that all the water that we give to the plants will be used. It will not go away into the soil or into the water environments inside of the ground. And that's also for the fertilizer. If you look at the energy aspect, we use many times waste energy from other waste plants. And we're trying to do with those energy sources, we're trying to cool and heat up our greenhouses. The CO2 that comes with it, we are using again in our greenhouses or indoor facilities. Our focus, and that's for us, our main goal is to try to convince the world we have to change something.
Yes, but you're not only doing this to improve the world because you're a commercial institution. You want to create money as well, right?
Of course, because we have our obligation to our employees and ourselves to make sure that everybody is great. If you look at the profitability, PRIVA is at the top 10 in the Netherlands when it comes to innovations. You got Shell, we got Unilever, and PRIVA is in there. So a lot of the money that we make goes back into the company to improve our systems, to make sure that every new innovation, every new way that we can save water, where we can save the energy sources, and
Can you also make this viable for the customer, right? Because circumstance where you have less water, it's always good to save a lot of water.
Yes.
But if there's plenty, well, then they have to pay more for a system that they are not really needing.
Of course, there is never plenty of water. I think that's an underestimation. Of course, we know there are, but still we have to be careful by using our fresh water because we need it. And where there is plenty, we probably can ship it to the places where it's not plenty enough. But also, and that's the nicest thing, it's a nice business case. Of course, we provide our systems with a good business plan. And like in the Netherlands, where we do it for many years now, people has a good living with it. So it's not only by being green, you cannot make money. That's always some way that where we talk about sustainability, we always get a little bit nervous about, oh, then it must cost money and I don't make enough money. In our case, we are developing software, hardware systems that, again, it's good for our next generations to come, but it's also a good business case.
Yes.
Because saving is making money also at the same time.
Is there a specific reason why you're also here at the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week?
Oh yes, of course there is. There is. I think we see here a beautiful country, a country that is developing very rapidly. The cities also here are growing fast. It's incredible what they've done. If you see pictures like 50 years ago, there is here almost nothing, and now you see a complete city here. What we do hope is they don't forget their food resources. And of course it's a country where also water can be an issue. And they have all the elements like sun and land where they can build facilities that can provide their cities with food grown at their own soil. How great is that?
Yeah, and it's also, of course, a lot of distribution, logistics, etc.
It's a win-win situation. And that's why we're here now. They're growing, they're developing, and hopefully, and that's what we're trying to do, we can be a little small part together with Abu Dhabi to say, okay, you're doing...
To make this change.
Make this change, trying to see what also the future can give you maybe on some elements of problems. But
okay. Well, Don, I've explained pretty well what PRIVA actually does. I didn't know it had so many different industries it's working in.
Yes.
I think your ambition is very noble, as well as it's a good earning model for the people that you employ. How many people are employed at PRIVA?
450.
That's enough.
Worldwide.
Because you can offer worldwide supplies, so that's very nice.
Yes.
I want to thank you for this brief introduction of the company.
Thank you.
And I hope that you can make it a successful week as well, doing business and being sustainable.
You too, and I hope you have a nice interviews the coming week and enjoy being here and enjoy this conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks everybody for listening. to the Abu Dhabi Transparency House. We'll be waiting for our next guest, Erik, who is already here, so we'll get right to it.